But I'm going to tell you one thing. The visa to Canada and the child was the big brunt of that, fight that filtered in the house, and Mohbad got injured and he died. And when he died, they took advantage of some of his body parts and other things, and people got away with murder. At the end of the day, I've told you that Wumi unalived Mohbad. Nothing wrong with what I said. It's all correct. Mohbad's death was a combination of domestic violence mixed with cultism and ritualism.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. You're tuned into Channel Up, your most preferred channel, where we dig into claims and share viral contents as they distort the activities of the masses. Thanks for joining us. Today's questions and today's updates are very uncomfortable and seemingly unavoidable. Now, there are questions as regards the video I want to show you because it bears lots of secrets than you've listened before. What exactly led to the fight between Mohbad and Wumi that night in Ikorodu after the show? Then, second question is, why is there a talk of a child possibly not belonging to Mohbad? This is another question that needs to be answered, of which the video will answer. What is the truth behind the 2 million naira that Davido reportedly sent? Was it for condolence or was it for something else? Who is in control of Mohbad's music money and royalty? These aren't assumptions. They are claims that have been made by Dr. Kemi Olunloyo in a new video that has got itself trending. She connects these issues to a deeper rift or a deeper issue. One, she says, played a role in the spiral that followed the death of Mohbad. Without much ado, I'll drop the video so you'd have a better glimpse of what is happening in the background. So that would have a very brief analysis after that. I have lots of details for you. These ones would shock you, trust me. Stay tuned.
I basically don't think Mohbad has any children. I've never believed it. Liam is a Telegoni baby. Liam has not had a credible DNA test. Liam had 2 private DNA tests, and I announced it to Nigerians last November and also in February of 2025 that this boy had a private DNA test in Abuja and one in Lagos. Yabo, Lagos, Tonto, Abuja. And these tests came out negative for Mohbad. Mohbad is not the father of Liam. Okay, he's a Telegoni baby. Everybody can Google Telegoni with their expensive phone. When a mother of a child has many sex partners, the child can start looking like the actual person that's supposed to be the father in the house or any of the boyfriends. So the only way you can eliminate this inheritance thing called Telegoni is actually to have a DNA test to know who the exact father is. This is the cause of the fight with Mohbad and his wife in the backseat of the car. The driver lied that he didn't understand Yoruba. It's not true. And the driver had an interview with VDM. And a lot of people said, how do I know what the information was? What were they arguing about? How many people were in the car? The driver, Liam, Mohbad, and Wumi. So obviously it looks like the driver spoke to me, right? I haven't confirmed or denied that. I did a forensic investigation and I protected the source. Like I said, if the source decides I don't want to be protected, I want to talk to VDM too, I need money. I mean, you can see the driver at the end of the interview saying he needs money too. But I'm going to tell you one thing. The visa to Canada and the child was the big brunt of that, fight that filtered in the house, and Mohbad got injured and he died. And when he died, they took advantage of some of his body parts and other things, and people got away with murder. The 2 million that was paid was not paid as a condolence fee. Davido sent 2 million through Dre for Mohbad's father. They paid for something. It wasn't, here's my condolence money to bury Mohbad. They paid for something. Davido of 30 BG paid for something. But like I said, believability is almost zero in Nigeria. Nobody wants to believe you. until 4 or 5 years' time. Kemi was right. So that's what I have to say about that. The mother of Liam is Wumi Adebanjo, who is supposed to be the common law wife to Mohbad. Wumi Adebanjo has never called my name one time in any of her interviews, in any of her social media posts, nothing. The only time she mentioned my name was in a DM that was sent to Just Lover, and that's basically Iyabo Ojo sending a DM to herself. When Mohbad died, Iyabo was running that CYY handle. Wumi's handle was handled by Iyabo almost 85% of the time. Nigerians didn't know that. She was doing all the chat GPT posts for her and all that. And she was sending herself's message. Iyabo has a multiple personality. It's like the movie that Funke Akindele did. They know themselves. So she was messaging herself saying, that stupid journalist Kemi always bullied Mohbad when he was alive, not knowing that I didn't know Mohbad well when he was alive. I met him one time at the Savage funeral. So that's Yabo. At the end of the day, my thing is, if Wumi doesn't do that DNA test, it wouldn't make a difference.
Welcome back. I told you that Dr. Kemi Olunloyo has disabled her comment section on her social media platforms, so we wouldn't be able to share comments with you at this point. But from that clip, several things now demand closer attention. Okay, we need to follow this step by step. We aren't the investigators, but we need to follow this step by step. Dr. Kemi alleges that private DNA tests were conducted in Lagos and Abuja respectively by Iyabo Ojo and Wumi, and both allegedly excluded Mohbad as the father of Liam. That's the first red flag. If true, it not only questions its paternity, but affects legal claims that were tied to Mohbad's property and all. She also connects this DNA dispute to the widely circulated video of Mohbad and Wumi arguing in a car or in their car. This shifts the narrative. It's no longer just a domestic quarrel. It could have been about far more serious and long-standing issues that seemed to be inconclusive. Now, then comes the 2 million naira payment. According to Dr. Kemi, this was not for condolence. It wasn't a payment for condolence. But what was the payment for exactly? That is still unclear. No concrete explanation. But the implication is that something transactional occurred behind the scenes between OBO, the baddest, aka Davido, and the family, that's Wumi. Everything points to a situation that was tense, unresolved, and legally complicated long before Mohbad died. But I am not done yet. The next part I am transitioning to goes very, very deep. In fact, deeper into the people around Mohbad, the control of his music rights, and the silence that has followed since his death, the change of the narrative, and the various false information that was sold, or that were sold to the public by people around him. Okay, so without much ado, I will drop a video to buttress my point, and then after this I will give you a brief analytical approach of what you've just watched. This is shocking too. Stay tuned, more details after the break.
Naira Marley must hold on to that money and not give everybody. I told everybody this in October of 2023, that Naira Marley has all the money and all the royalties from Mohbad, from the first album, and it's a lot of money. Naira Marley has spoken out in about a few weeks ago. I have all Mohbad's money, I just don't know who to give it to. Child hasn't done a DNA test. Naira must not make that mistake of transferring the assets to the child. Wumi dimmed Mohbad's light. The people that wanted Mohbad gone, she helped them. His brother and his brother-in-law, Darusha and Adura, were accomplices that obstructed the murder. So clearly Nigerians can see that VDM brought out the chats where they said in there that they were not interested in an autopsy. Tonto Dike did not care about what killed Mohbad. They only cared about drowning Naira Marley and collecting money for Wumi. So it was a very well organized plot. And as a journalist, I can't sit here at 61 years old soon in a week and say that I'm waiting for the mainstream media to report what I'm doing. I'm a journalist. I'm better than the mainstream media. I've always been better than them. I just didn't have the money that the mainstream media had. If you pull all the journalists out of the mainstream media in Nigeria, they're nobodies. You've never heard of them or their names. They were only affiliated with the mainstream media. I'm going to talk more about that though. But as for Wunmi Adebanjo, her mother being the police officer had a lot of influence in botching that case. And they've protected her identity for a long time now. No photos out there, no full names, nothing. I have her name in my book. I'm writing a book, like a memoir, about every case that I did. And Mohbad's one is going to be very prominent.
Welcome back. So in this second clip, Dr. Kemi expands her claims, this time pointing fingers directly at those around Mohbad, his family, the industry figures, and even those handling his online narrative after his death, those posting instead of Wumi after her husband's death. Why does Naira Marley still control Mohbad's royalties? It is just normal for him to have them. What is the real reason that those assets haven't been released yet? Who influenced the public narrative around Wumi's statements after Mohbad's death? There are names that have been linked to all these questions. Are those closest to him still hiding something? Is Wumi still hiding something? Yabo Joe, Tonto DK, Dre, DMW, and others. Are they still hiding something? What about Adura, Mohbad's brother, and Darusha, his in-law? Are they still hiding something? These are questions that have been raised. So I don't know, but after this video, we're going to have a very brief analysis so you will understand where these questions are going to. Stay tuned.
He did a concert on August 26, 2023 in Kenya. And this was part of my book. I was going to release this information in my book because there's no visible police investigation going on. And I told you that it's taken so long because a lot of new information is coming out. The case is closed. I'm just want to tell you this. This is a situation where karma is going to take over. At the end of the day, I've told you that Wunmi unalived Mohbad. Nothing wrong with what I said. It's all correct. Mohbad's death was a combination of domestic violence mixed with cultism and ritualism. An entire elaborate group of people in the industry took his life. It was ruined literally by people he trusted, and they used his wife first. They wanted to end his life and then use some of his body parts for rituals. No one's going to tell me I'm wrong. When I investigated the Kenyan part, I'm going to mention one name, Mwangi. Mwangi. Mwangi is a half Kenyan, half Ugandan promoter that's friends of mine. You know, I'm a friend to all the promoters around the world because in Canada, I work with them. Whenever the African artists showed up in Toronto, I was the one that did the PR. And the PR is my music publicity job where I put them in front of the media. I'm the one that books everybody on MTV Canada in those days. So I know the people doing promotions. I've known Paulo in music promotions for a long time, way before Yabo. I know Smade in London. King Smade is also holding it down in London. I know a lot of promoters around East Africa, everywhere, UAE. So Mwangi is Ugandan, and what he told me during the investigation, like the October-November time, 2023, is not coming to play now. And that's what I want to tell you.
Okay, if you don't know, lots of names have arisen during the course of this chaos or this helter-skelter about Mohbad, justice for Mohbad. Even names that were not invited for investigation at the first instance. So with lots of names being mentioned now, that means there are lots of things to say that were not said in the first place. Let's be clear. These are serious claims by Dr. Kemi Olunloyo. Naira Marley allegedly holding on to Mohbad's royalties. It's not a new thing. But Dr. Kemi claims that the reason he hasn't released them is due to the absence of a confirmed heir. That takes us to the DNA test. Without a conclusive DNA test, according to Dr. Kemi, no rightful claimant can be recognized for those royalties or those funds or whatever they are. That could make legal sense, of course, but it also raises questions about the delay and the motive behind the delay. She also alleges that after Mohbad's death, Wumi's online accounts were being managed by another party. That's Iyabo Ojo, according to her. Specifically, Iyabo Ojo. If this is accurate, this means the grieving partner's statements may not have been hers entirely or in entirety. That changes how the public interprets what was said posthumously, if I can use that word. Finally, the role of family in this is very, very crucial. Dr. Kemi calls out Mohbad's brother and brother-in-law, Darusha and Adura, suggesting obstruction, manipulation, or at the very least, questionable involvement in Mohbad's death. These are not proven facts yet, but they are part of a wider puzzle that she paints. One of confusion, one of misinformation, and a possible cover-up of something fishy. I am saying this because, according to Dr. Kemi, she has confirmed these claims, but the police is yet to confirm these claims because a fresh investigation is yet to commence. So if she has done a private investigation as a private investigator and then has done this, then, well, this is where things stand. For me, a paternity dispute that affects legal rights, a large sum of money allegedly sent without public explanation, royalties held back pending clarity of heir, and then people who were close to Mohbad being named in allegations of interference and obstruction. Again, none of this has been ruled on in court yet, but it's being said loudly, and silence from key players only fuels the suspicion even more. A high degree of suspicion would go up if these things are not cleared. One thing is clear: until a DNA test is publicly acknowledged and the money trail is explained, the air around Mohbad's death would remain clouded by narratives and false narratives per se. But what happens if that test confirms what's really being whispered, what is really being going around in the background, or even worse? So that is the question, because if Dr. Kemi would definitely point accusing fingers, making accusations and allegations that Liam is not Mohbad's son, with the kind of confidence she has and the high degree of competence she has garnered in her over 30 years of investigative journalism, that means there are lots of things that are fishy, which will take us to different points of this case that we would not love to hear, even if the truth has been unraveled. So we'll keep our fingers crossed and see where all this leads us to. Thank you so much for staying this far. If you loved this, or if you enjoyed this video rather, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to Channel Up, and also don't forget to drop your reactions in the comment section, because I want to see them flying front, back, left, and right. Okay, and finally, share this video to your friends, your relations at home and abroad. See you next time. Peace out.